I could tell from the reaction in the spring training preview video that everybody is hyped up for Toronto Blue Jays baseball to be back. And clearly, the Jays are jacked up to be back because the offense has been booming all spring long to this point. Jays are 4-2 in the spring so far, and that's what we're here to talk about. We're here to talk about the games that happened, the two games against the Phillies, the Yankees, Tigers, Pirates, and Orioles. We're going to break down the key points from those games and extra things I wanted to talk about. I have no idea how long this video is going to be. I have all my numbers written down, so maybe it won't be too long. It might be really long. I'm not too sure. But let's break this thing down. It's so nice to talk about baseball. It obviously doesn't really mean anything, but it's just nice to talk about Blue Jays baseball that is actually happening right now, all right? So let's start in game one of spring training on Friday night against the Baltimore Orioles, where the Jays won 9-5 offensively. There's no one guy that stood out as like this guy made the biggest impact in this game. But the key players that I wanted to bring up was one, Jose Barrios. Got the start in the game, obviously going to be the opening day starter, we're all assuming. An inning in the third, 2 hits, 2 runs, a walk, and a strikeout. Actually got pulled in the first inning. Ended up coming back and pitching a little bit more. Obviously, that's what you can do in spring training to get those pitches up, to get those innings in. And they did. Still, though, wasn't the greatest was Barrios, and you want to move forward to today's start against Philly, and he was really not good. So, again, it's spring training. Doesn't mean anything, right? He could go out there in game one of the season, throw 6 shutout innings, and then we're saying, okay, never mind. It doesn't mean squat. He's feeling great. Right, it's all about just getting into the flow of things. It wasn't pretty at all today, and we'll get to that later on. But in that first game, again, just feeling things out. But the next guy I wanted to talk about is Adrian Hernandez. This guy was a reliever in the minor leagues. I don't think he got to AAA. He might have got. I don't think so. I'm pretty sure he was in AA for most of the season. And he was fantastic, 22-year-old guy out of the bullpen. His stuff is nasty. His changeup is ridiculous. And we've been seeing that. We saw it today, and we saw it in game one, where he came in relief for Barrios. He went 2 1/3 innings pitched, allowed 1 hit, 1 walk, and 3 strikeouts. I mean, he was really good. And I don't know, turning a lot of heads in Jay's camp, especially since our bullpen, we can all kind of agree, is that one spot we're looking at and saying, okay, that's probably where the Jays are the most thin. So to get these extra guys coming up here would not hurt at all. The Jays do win that game 9-5 against the Baltimore Orioles to start off the spring on the right note. Now, the next game, well, obviously on Saturday, they played every day. As they took on the Phillies, they lost 3-2 in that game on Saturday afternoon. But a lot of positives you can pull from a game like that. You can say Vladdy, in his first AB, goes deep off of Aaron Nola, crunched. Then Orelvis Martinez, the Blue Jays, in my opinion, one of the top prospects. Him and Gabriel Moreno. Look, Nate Pearson's not a prospect anymore. It's Orelvis, and it is Gabe Moreno for me. He just absolutely launches one off of Aaron Nola. And I'm like, this kid is 20 and never played AA. And he's just launching these. Incredible stuff. He went 1 for 2 in the game. Vladdy went 1 for 2 in the game with his moonshot off of Aaron Nola. So really good things there. Then into the bullpen, you had Jordan Romano, Tim Meza, Trevor Richards, and Anthony Castro all throwing up zeros. So that's always important. However, in that game, the reason they lost that game, the defense was just terrible. Right? A big part of that, Malik Smith. The guy can't track a fly ball. I think Chavez Young had a problem tracking a fly ball in center field as well. Malik Smith went back on the ball, then came in, then dove at it, missed it. It ended up being a triple. I think it was Nick Allgaier got the start, and he gave up like 2 or 3 runs, but I'm like, man, that is not fun. That is not fair to him. He pitched pretty well. The defense was just so damn shoddy behind him. And Malik Smith, we all know what he's going to be, right? He's going to be a guy in AAA Buffalo when playoffs come around, if the Jays are in the playoffs, which I'm assuming they are. If they're not, it's an embarrassment. Then he'll be a guy coming up in the Dalton Pompey role. Hey, you got a guy on base? Go run. That'll be it, right? So that's just what he's going to be. Don't worry about him, Jays fans. It's not going to be a problem there. We move on to the next day. 10-4 victory over the Pittsburgh Pirates on March 20th, which was the Sunday. And Randall Grichuk went 2 for 3 with a run scored. He's been great to start the spring, but we have seen this before year in, year out with Randall Grichuk. Then Matt Chapman goes deep. He crushes one way out. He gets a home run, 2 RBIs, 1 for 2 in the game, walks once as well. Great debut for the Blue Jays for Matt Chapman. Great to see there. And Orelvis Martinez, look, didn't hit a home run, didn't get any hits. But he was 0 for 0, walked twice, and came in to score once. So this young fella showing the plate discipline, showing the power. I mean, it's exciting for him. And can we talk about the way Alejandro Kirk is ripping the ball right now? We keep hearing about, oh, Danny Jansen, Reese McGuire, that lefty, righty, going to start the season. Kirk maybe get a lot of reps in AAA, but then this guy goes into spring training, and even after today's game, he's hitting over 600 in the spring. I know it's only spring baseball, but my God, Alejandro Kirk, his at-bats have been incredible. Worst case scenario, you DH him sometimes. But the problem is that'll take away from other guys having a DH. So you got that real big question moving forward. But what you do with Alejandro Kirk? We don't know. I mean, we know he's not the greatest defensively, but that bat is such an impact that you have to find a way to get into the lineup. Now, do you put him down in AAA and allow him to play every single day behind the plate? Or do you say screw it and bring him up at the big club and maybe, Reese McGuire or Danny Jansen put them, or no, Reese McGuire would probably go down. Let's be real here. So, but Alejandro Kirk in that game went 2 for 3 with a home run and 2 RBIs. I mean, he was incredible. Greg Bird also went deep. Yankee legend Greg Bird, who had a great stretch with the Yankees, then got injured a ton, and that was it for him. The Jays giving him a chance in spring training. I thought he's been pretty good. He obviously launched one to straightaway center field in that game. So I thought that was a very good sign. He looked at very good defensively at first base the last few times I've seen. A lot picking balls nicely, very smooth there at first base. So, hey, I'm not complaining. Now, obviously, Vladdy is going to be there 95% of the time, but it never hurts to have a lefty-powered bat in Greg Bird, whose defense is not bad. I mean, I don't know. It's not a bad thing to have in depth at first base for Greg Bird. That's really good. Now, out of the bullpen, we saw Julian Merriweather, Taylor Saucedo, and Joe Biagini. Oh, man, it is so nice to see the big fella back in Blue Jay Blue. And he went out there, and they threw up a 0. So they did a great job in there at 3 innings of work. Great to see Julian Merriweather doing a good job because obviously we know the way he started last season and now he came back and he wasn't the same. But when you don't play for like a whole year like that and everybody else is gearing up for the playoffs and you're just trying to get yourself back in the groove, it's so tough to see, right? So he didn't have a tough time, but look, great to see him out there in that game. Great to see him throw up a 0. Same with Saucedo. Saucedo has the stuff, and that's the thing about him. If he could throw strikes consistently, he'd be incredible. His stuff is nasty. Everything moves like crazy. So if he can find a way to consistently pound the strike zone, Saucedo can be a damn good lefty out of this pen. And Joe Biagini got signed to a minor league deal. I don't know what this means moving forward for him. Obviously, since he's left the Blue Jays, he has not been any good. But you never know. Bring him back to an organization he's familiar with. Obviously, a lot of different players, though. A lot of things have changed since then. But great to see Joe Biagini back and throwing up 0s for the Blue Jays. So after that 3-game stretch, the Jays are 2-1 on the spring. The offense is bumping. The boys are hitting the ball well. Bo Bichette really hasn't done anything to this point offensively, but oh, he does. And we move ahead to the Detroit Tigers game on Monday, and a lot more of a defensive, a lot big of a pitching duel for the Toronto Blue Jays and Tigers in this game. But Greg Bird again, offensively getting it done, 2 for 2 in the game with an RBI. Great job from him. Now, here's where things get fun. Pitching-wise, Alek Manoah gets the start in that one. He went 2 innings. A lot of run in the first inning. I believe it was a sac fly in that game. And, 2 innings, 2 hits, was that 1 run? I can't remember. Right, I think it was 1 run. Because they only scored 1 in the game. No, there you go. And I got a couple strikeouts and walked out. So it wasn't as sharp, but again, it's his first spring training outing. Did a job. That's good to see for Alek Manoah going out there. Now, Nate Pearson, though. Woo-hoo-hoo-hoo. These are the type of things when Nate Pearson does stuff like this, it makes us all go, it's there. Like, just, can we do it consistently and stay healthy? 2 innings, no hits, 1 walk, strikes out 4. Like, he was dominant. Then, Bowden Francis, the guy we got last year in the trade, which one was it? Trevor Richards? Rowdy Tellez for Richards and Francis? I can't remember what that was, but it was something like that. And he did a great job. 2 innings. 1 strikeout, 1 walk, nothing else doing, just a clean job from him. Meanwhile, the Jays pitching staff through the first 6 innings have only allowed 2 hits. They're dominant. Then Jose De Leon comes out and, oh goodness. He goes out there and pitch. I think he throws a couple pitches and I get Tim Meza vibes. Maybe not to that extent because Meza kind of just went right down and it was bad. But this guy, right when he's in his pitching motion, he kind of just flubs his arm and he just goes down, holds the arm, and I'm like, oh no. Everybody in the ballpark, the commentators, They're all standing there going, no, this is, no. Like, you don't care. Like, it doesn't matter who it is, right? It could be a no-name guy down in A-ball at 30 years old, whatever, or it could be, your all-star MVP type of play. It doesn't matter. You never want to see that happen. All prayers up to Jose De Leon. Hopefully he's okay, and hopefully it's not what we all fear it is. Now, Jeremy Beasley, who pitched with the Blue Jays last season, wasn't really all that great, but I mean, he went 3 innings in that game. Now, albeit later in the game, you're probably not facing the bigger competition, but he went 3 innings, no hits, no walks, no runs, 4 strikeouts. So he did a good job closing it out. So the Jays pitching staff gave up 2 hits in the game, right? And they got a bunch of strikeouts when Manoah had 2, Pearson had 4, Francis had 1, Beasley had 4. Like, they did a great job to the pitching staff, and you win a 3-1 game against the Tigers. The Jays are buzzing right now. They're 3-1 in the spring. Oh, things are going great. Now you face the Yankees, and the Jays put out the majority of the big boy lineup to face Mike Montgomery. And it was like it was batting practice out there. Because everybody's tearing up. The first inning, he can't get anybody out. Right? Springer goes 2 for 3 with a run scored. Bo goes 2 for 3 with a run scored. Vladdy's like, this is BP. 3 for 3 with a run scored and 2 RBIs for Vladdy. Gurriel goes 1 for 2 with an RBI and a walk. Kevin Biggio goes 2 for 2 in the game with a run scored and a walk. And then Grendel Grichuk gets a grand slam later in the game. So the Jays offense just tees off on the Yankees pitching staff and makes Montgomery run away pretty quickly. Now, obviously, it's spring training baseball. It really doesn't mean a whole lot, obviously. But it's just so nice to watch our lineup go out there against a guy who will be pitching for the New York Yankees all season long and just light him up. It was just nice to watch. Now, pitching-wise, what did we get? Well, we got to see Yusei Kikuchi out there in his first outing as a Toronto Blue Jay, and I thought he was great. He didn't have his command early on in the start, but, man, after the first few batters or so, he got locked in, and he did not miss. He went 2 innings, walked the guy who was in that first inning, but he struck out 4. Didn't allow any hits, no runs. It's a great job from Yusei Kikuchi in that game. Ross Stripling came out in relief, went 3 innings, allowed a run in the first inning, but really cruised the rest of the way. 3 innings, 2 hits, 1 run, couple strikeouts for Ross Stripling, and that's kind of what he's going to be this season, barring any injuries, right? He's going to be that guy where if you only get 3 or 4 innings out of a guy because of a big pitch count or he gets lit up, Ross Stripling's going to come out there and give you 3-4 innings, and I really believe that's what they're going to do with him right now. Obviously, getting up to 3 innings now in that game against the Yankees is definitely a sign, okay? You win that game 9-2 on Tuesday, and hey, we got a 4-1. We're up 4-1 in the spring training so far. We're doing a great job. Now you have the Phillies again, the only team you've lost to, and unfortunately you lose again. Another 1-run ball game, 8-7 against the Phils today on March 23rd, which is today. And pitching wise, just was not good. Jose Barrios, guys, as I mentioned off the top, has not been pretty in the first couple outings. I'm hoping he's not injured and trying to push through it, because if he is injured, you better sit your rear end down and just get yourself healthy. I don't care if you're not the opening day starter now. You better get healthy. Or if he's just not dialed in yet. And you know what? That's okay. Honestly, it's spring training baseball. It's a second inning. What if he goes out there in his next outing and goes 4 innings of 1-hit ball? And then we're like, okay, well, he's found himself, right? So that's what spring training's for. I'd rather get all of this stuff out now so he can figure it out as the season goes along. An inning and 2/3, I had 7 hits and 6 runs, struck out 2 and walked 1. Obviously, Barrios wasn't the greatest in that game today. But, again, the offense started to pick it up, though. Kevin Biggio went 1 for 2 with a walk and a run scored. Santiago Espinal went 1 for 3. He went deep in the game. I mean, just remarkable stuff, right? And then Alejandro Kirk went 2 for 2 with an RBI in the game. Arelvis Martinez comes up again, and it goes deep again. I mean, guys, listen to this. 3 out of the first 6 games, I've already have him written down. Why? Because he went home. He had a home run in 2 games, right? 1 home run in game, was that game 2 against game 2 against the Phillies, and then game 6 today against the Phillies, and then in game 3 against the Pirates, he doesn't get a hit, but he walks twice. Arelvis Martinez showing to the Blue Jay fans a lot of great things so far in his young career, and it's just really fun to watch. At 20 years old, he'll probably be in Double-A to start, so it's going to be a lot of fun to see how this kid grows moving forward. And let's go to it. Ryan Borucki has a clean inning of work, no runs. Good for him. He's a key guy in this Jays bullpen. He's a guy that probably has quite a bit of experience, right? Out of the starter, and then he's been a reliever. Obviously, he has to stay healthy, though. But he has the stuff. And the question is, can he throw enough strikes to do it? And today, he was good. And again, as I mentioned in the first in the first game. Adrian Hernandez goes out there, does a great job. We got to see firsthand that damn good changeup of his. It was dominant. He was really good in his inning of work. So both those guys put up zeros, but unfortunately the Jays lose at 8-7. So 4-2 spring training week, not too bad. Again, we're all trying to feel each other out here. That sounded awful. I apologize for that. We have not seen Kevin Gausman yet. We have not seen Hyunjin Ryu yet. We will over time, right? We'll probably see them at some point this week. And that's going to be the exciting part. I think every Jays fan is getting ready for that. I believe Gabriel Moreno and Yimi Garcia, their visa issues have been sorted now, so they're back with the team. So they'll probably be in game action either tomorrow or the next day. So that'll be great to see. And Yimi Garcia is a massive piece of that pen as well. Every pitcher, let me just put it this way, every pitcher that's not a starter is a massive piece to this bullpen, considering it's kind of up in the air. We're not really sure where it's going to go. We have pieces that from last year look great, like Meza, Richards, Simber, Romano. That's great. Now, can other guys take that next step, and are these guys going to stay really good? Because you all know bullpen guys can be hit or miss one year from the next. So it's one step at a time. But Jays fans, a very successful week in the sense of that you're 4-2, and you saw a lot of good offensive performances. Would like to see some better pitching performances from the Blue Jays, like we saw against the Tigers and even the Yankees with Kikuchi. Those were great games, but seeing Manoah or seeing Barrios get lit up twice, not pretty. And you know what? I'm pleased. I'm just happy baseball's back. I know you guys are. So you know what, guys? That is going to do it for this video. Like I said, I didn't know if it was going to be a long one or a short one. A fairly long video. And I hope you guys stayed for it all because it's Jays baseball and we missed it dearly. And I'll be here every week doing this. So usually it's going to be 6 or 7 games, depending on, there's probably going to be an off day in there somewhere. So actually, no, condensed spring training, so maybe not. There probably is at least 1 or 2 in there. So it'll be either 6 games or 7 games I'll be talking about. But I'll be talking to you guys every single Wednesday until Game 1 of the regular season on April 8th, which I will be attending, and I can't wait. Take that to Rogers Center and be there with 50,000 flipping people cheering on our boys at Rogers Center in Game 1 of 162. I can't wait, Jays fans. It is exciting stuff. And you know what? That is going to do it for this one, guys. If you enjoyed the video and you guys enjoyed talking Blue Jay baseball with me while I'm the one talking, you guys are listening. You might be talking to me behind your screen. I don't know. Hit the subscribe button. You guys not already. Hit that like button. All that great stuff. Comment down below everything you thought from the first 6 games of the spring training. Who has impressed you? Who has underwhelmed you? Obviously, Barrios has, but really, you can't do much about it. What are your thoughts on the first 6 games of the Toronto Blue Jays? Twitter link is down below, so follow up, send me a DM, all that great stuff. The Instagram link is also down below, so follow up there if you guys have not done so already. And I will talk to you guys, Raptors edition, Thursday, tomorrow night, as they host the Cleveland Cavaliers in the biggest game of the season, the biggest must-win of the season for the Toronto Blue Jays. You win that game, you are tied with the Cleveland Cavaliers. You lose, you're a game back, and you'd be, 2 games back, and you can basically kiss that 6th seed goodbye. As for the Toronto Maple Leafs, they're back in action tonight against the New Jersey Devils at Scotiabank Arena. Mrazek gets the start, which I'm crapping myself about. But you know what? He's had some time to kind of forget it. Went through waivers. He's chilled for a bit. Come back. You got Giordano now. I'm hoping things get better for the Leafs. We'll have to see, though. I know a lot of Leaf fans are going to be watching this game real tight. So we'll see how it goes tonight against the Devils. And as for the Toronto Blue Jays, I'll talk to you guys next week. Same time, same place, talking about all the games over the course of the week, all right? So thank you guys so much for listening and watching. I hope you enjoyed the video and Blue Jays baseball being back. We'll talk to you guys then.